Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I thought that might get a reaction. I think I'm Adam Sessler. Yay. Thank you. I did not decide to do this panel just to get an early copy of Just Dance 3. It's because I happen to really love Assassin's Creed, and it's quite an honor to actually be here. It is definitely one of my most favorite games, series of this generation. And in part because it is one of the best named games I've ever played. It's not called, you know, Assassin Rule Set, Assassin Stuff, Assassin Matters, which is kind of cool, because you can have like an Urkel assassin in that game. No, it's Assassin's Creed because it's like really, really badass. And one of the things that I've always quite admired about it is how it uses actual history, and it recognizes that, you know, in human history and human civilization, there's just as much awe, wonder, mystery, and stuff like that that you can find in a game with dragons or with robots or somewhere out there in space. That there really is something rich and interesting. And in fact, it's probably more mysterious because unlike with all those other types of games, you can never go to the guy who made it to ask him what does that mean or what really happened. And I think this really plays upon all those fascinating interests that we have about, you know, what happened prior to our existence. We're going to have a really, really fun show today. We're going to see a demo. Yay to demo. We're going to have some other special guests, and we're going to have a very, very fun musical performance from the famed literal trailer maker Tobuscus. Yeah, it's going to be really good. So you don't need to look at me. I would rather look at someone with a more kind of manly gait. So let's get this demo going. I would like to introduce to the stage Assassin's Creed Revelations creative director Alex Amancio and community developer Gabe Graziani to the stage. I gotta say, guys, Amancio and Graziani, I mean, is this coincidence that you're making this game with Ezio? I don't know. Well, anyway, Alex, take it away. But first, let's get a sense of where we are in the game and what's happening with Ezio.
All right. Just to give you a little bit of background, Assassin's Creed Revelations is all about Ezio's journey, his inner journey to seek out the knowledge left behind by the great Altair. So he travels to Masyaf in search of these secrets, finds it teeming with Templars, because little does he know, these Templars have found, by accident, a key, one of the 5 keys that actually opens Masyaf, and they're actually trying to break through the door that leads to this secret library. So what Ezio learns, not only is there 5 keys that open this vault, but there's something much more powerful than just knowledge. There's something, an artifact, something very powerful hidden beneath Masyaf. So what starts off as an inner journey turns into a race against time. So this demo happens the beginning of the game. And there's actually a cinematic at the beginning, sort of a carriage race, carriage battle. Keep in mind that this is actually going to be fully playable in the game, although it's just a cinematic for this demo. Ezio is pretty banged up, so he's going to need to rely on his brains rather than his brawn.
Do you understand me? Nothing gets through.
Leandros! Hey!
Well, well. Look what crawled out of its hole to die. He's at death's door. Finish him off. Bring me his head, or throw yourselves into the canyon!
That's Leandros. Leandros is a Templar captain. He has one of the keys. You're going to need to track him down and assassinate him so you can get the key back. Now, even though this demo is a little bit more based on stealth, we really wanted to start it off with a fight.
Now!
Now, what you're seeing are some of the improvements we've made to combat. More fluid, more finishing moves, and we have strategically placed slow motions to really, increase immersion during the gameplay. As you can see, we've done quite a few improvements to the original engine. Like one of the things that you're seeing there is volumetric 3D fog. First time in an Assassin's Creed game. You know, we redid all the effects. The water itself, the shader of the water is redone. You can actually get the glint of the moon from the water. But we also worked a lot on characters. Still as badass as ever. We worked a lot on characters, the skin, the cloth, and everything to bring it to the next level. Now you might notice the camera is a bit slanted. This is sort of a subjective way that we use to you know, really represent the fact that he's wounded. But subjective cameras are really something that we've tried integrating a lot into the game. You'll see a couple of them here. Like it really increases the cinematic value and increases immersion.
This used to be so easy.
Now Ezio is older in this game, but he is wiser and he is more powerful. Like one of the improvements that you have in previous games is Eagle Vision has become Eagle Sense. One of the things it can allow you to do is actually see a ghostly figure. That is actually a sort of a sense of Leandros' path throughout the city. So you can use Eagle Sense to track enemies. You can also use Eagle Sense to sort of pinpoint where guards are going to be, where they're going to walk to. This allows you to use more strategy in the game. This is just an example of a systemic setup that we can actually do in the game. Like, Gabe is gonna, you know, kill this guy here, and he's gonna place an already crafted tripwire bomb. Now, hopefully, he's gonna hide in that haystack. Hopefully, the guard patrol will see the body, go there to investigate. And if everything goes well, they'll trigger the tripwire bomb, and you got a trap.
Who the hell set that off?
So this isn't scripted, it's systemic. And the bombs are actually things that add a lot of new different possibilities that you can actually do in the game. Now, you might remember in previous games, like the economy is all about money. You have too little at the beginning, too much at the end. We've actually added new elements to the economy. See caltrops, shrapnel. These elements are actually useful to craft bombs, something that we'll show you a little bit later. Now here's another one of the bombs that Ezio's already, you know, crafted. This one is actually a strategic bomb, a sort of a tactical bomb. It's a bomb that is on a fuse and it emits noise. So what happens is you throw it, the guards will hear it and go investigate the noise. This will allow Gabe to pass by the guards without, you know, going into full combat since he's wounded. Now the assassins have placed these bomb crafting tables throughout the game world. They're unlocked, you know, through the usage of your hidden blade. And they give you access to our crafting interface. So there's 3 different types of bombs, you know, but you can create bombs from scratch or modify existing bombs. Gabe is going to show you creating a bomb from scratch. So you're actually, let's say you can choose an impact shell, different types of gunpowder, which yield bigger or smaller explosions, and let's use those caltrops that we found in that chest. So we've just created a caltrop chasebreaker bomb. Now you can also modify existing bombs. You remember the tripwire bomb? Let's remove the tripwire shell and use an impact shell for something a little bit more direct, less, you know, stealthy. And by the way, if you're wondering, all of these bombs truly existed in that time period. Bombs have been around since the 300s. This is 1511. Bombs existed, and they're as diversified and as complex as these. Now let's try to get into a situation where we can actually use that, you know, those caltrop bombs that we just crafted.
Hold on.
There you go.
That one is very familiar.
Blessings of God on you.
So when you get in trouble, you throw that, breaks the chase.
Could it be that you are every bit as deadly as the legends say? Or am I in charge of an army of drunks swinging sticks? Right this way, Ezio. Nowhere left to run now!
Not for me.
And a note for you. Kill that dog! Cut him down!
When all else fails, the direct approach is often the best.
Get the bastard!
You're just showing off, Gabe. Now, Gabe is going to heal himself with this healing table, which now gives him back all of his climbing abilities. But he can still have fun with bombs.
I am going to show you the right with a stone!
Some kind of explosion.
Remember those subjective cameras I was telling you about? This is an
Do I have to
example.
do everything
A seamless
myself?
transition between more cinematic moments and more systemic gameplay throughout the game, just to get you more into it.
Worse, Malakas! Face me! What does it take to kill you, eh? Why will you not die? Don't you ever stop howling. Requiescat in pace, bastardo.
He did try to hang him, right? So the key that Ezio picked up, not only picking up each key gets you closer and closer to actually opening up Masyaf, but the keys are actually first civilization artifacts. Think of them as the ancestors to the enemies. They record key moments in somebody's life. Altair was their, old owner, so each of these keys represents a key moment in Altair's life. So interacting with these discs will actually allow Ezio to go back and play as Altair. It's really cool because Ezio is sort of like going through this whole process where he's searching for meaning, right? Seeing
Another
Altair's
step,
life
and your mentor
will
dies.
bring him closer to understanding that.
You will not leave this place alive, traitor.
No, you misunderstand. I am no traitor. For I cannot betray those I never truly loved.
Then you are doubly wretched, for you have been living a lie.
Now that Templar traitor has actually got himself sealed off and killing off some assassins. One of them being Al-Mualim, the leader of the assassins and Altair's future mentor. Keep in mind, this sequence actually predates Assassin's Creed 1. Altair was a little-known assassin, only 17. So what we've done here, we created a setup very similar to what you might have seen in Assassin's Creed 1. A setup where you can analyze your target and find a clever way to reach him and assassinate him. Gabe, you're gonna have to hurry because he's getting close to Al-Mualim.
Another traitor?
The guy you just killed is actually a character in multiplayer.
You put too much faith in the hearts of men, Altair. The Templars know the truth. Humans are weak, base, and petty.
No. Our creed is evidence to the contrary.
Perhaps I am not wise enough to understand, but I suspect the opposite. that I am too wise to believe such rubbish.
So there's 8 multiplayer characters that you can actually see in action in the single-player campaign.
You offered him a chance to salvage his dignity. Why?
No man should pass from this world without knowing some kindness.
But he shunned your graces.
As was his right.
Altair, I have watched you grow from a boy to a man in so short a time. It fills me with as much sadness as pride. You fit your father's shoes as if they had been tailored to your feet.
I did not know him well as a father. He was an assassin, above all.
You too were born into this order. Do you regret it?
How can I regret the only life I have ever known?
You may find a way in time, and it will be up to you to choose the path you prefer. Come, my boy, and ready your blade. This battle is not yet won.
There's a demo.
Thank you. A round of applause for Gabe. I was just curious, where are we sort of in the game? Because it does seem like there's a very powerful Ezio that you're playing with.
Yeah, unlike in other games, we wanted to picture Ezio as being really powerful from the get-go. Like, you do gain other abilities, but you gain them on top of the ones you already have. You don't spend the beginning of the game trying to hunt back, the abilities that you already had in Brotherhood.
Obviously, it's because, Ezio is at a much later stage of his life than we've seen him sort of at the beginning. If you go back to AC2, here you have this kind of young, puckish Ezio that just wants to sleep with women and just punch people in the face. And, he's definitely an angrier... He's like the Seymour Castle of assassins now. So I was curious, this is a little bit different in the telling of the story, that where he was kind of wrapped up in these world events in the first two, this is more of a personal journey for him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're really favoring character development in this game. The Ezio from AC2 and the Ezio from Brotherhood and Revelations are 3 very different characters because of the character arc. But even for Revelations, the character that you'll see at the beginning of the game and the one that actually ends the game will be a very different character. So it's all about, a character evolving, coming to terms and finishing what he started.
Well, you and I could probably talk about Ezio. I think it's more appropriate to have Ezio sort of tell that in his own words, and we have a short trailer that does that for us. Go clapping! All right, we're just one moment here. We all love anticipation. That's why we wait for things to come out.
I've lived my life to the best of my ability. But I have not been able to escape fate, anger, or pain. Bring to me the answers, and the road that leads to PAX 2011. Reveal to me, once and for all, who here, at the Paramount Theater, is worthy of the Creed! Insieme per la vittoria!
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Ezio Auditore, Roger Craig Smith.
What's up, PAX Assassins? Woo! What's up, sir?
So when we met, my first thought was, well, yeah, you're perfect for the role.
Typecast again. Another Italian.
Yeah, how does one, sort of get to do the voice for, I think it's safe to say, probably the most sexually masculine character in video games right now?
Well, when you're one of the most sexually masculine voiceover actors around, it's just a gift. No, not a day.
But they went to you.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Not a day goes by that I don't ask myself the same thing. I consider myself the luckiest nerd on the face of the earth to get to voice this guy.
I would have to answer pure luck and being at the right place at the right time.
I mean, did you know you had the capacity to do that accent, that voice, and that type of delivery? Was it something you were using on women in bars, and you said, hey, I have another way of using this too?
No, I think when you're 5'5" and cut your own hair and drive a Prius, using the accent on women in a bar, you're not...
You and me both, buddy.
You're not fooling anybody, per se. I mean, actually, it creeps my girlfriend out if I do the voice, because it's just not right. It's, you want to go get a coffee?
What? Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not good.
No, actually, to be honest, I remember, this is what's very funny about how this came to be. I remember getting this call to audition for this role, and my call time was like 5 o'clock on a Friday in Hollywood, and I was like, oh, God, I'm going to go all the way up there, and they were running late, and they didn't see me till 6:15, and I was like trying to listen to, I'm a fan of MotoGP motorcycle racing, so I was listening to like Valentino Rossi and his interviews, and I was like trying to study the Italian accent, and it was awful. Not that it's improved all that much, but I went in and they said, hey, don't worry so much about the accent, just really try to get the performance and the character, and we want this guy to be, you know, something a little bit more substantive than just the voice. And so I did the world's worst Antonio Banderas, because I really couldn't do Italian that well at the beginning, and then they took it from there, and we worked very close with the dialect coach and very closely with the development team.
Well, that's good, because Banderas is Spanish.
Yeah. Spanglish Italian.
I think the interesting thing is, I was just talking about with Alex, is that, you know, the character that you started out with in AC2 was kind of a youthful guy, and you've really got to sort of, even with the voice acting, allowed him to mature and become a much more sort of morose person.
Yeah. I lucked out in that. That was that to me has been the biggest honor that Ubisoft actually gave me the chance to kind of stick with it, because at any point in time they could have said, well, we got to get a guy who's much older to do this, but they always gave me a shot to try to come in and try to do something a little bit different with it, so that, you know, I was able to carry it from literally from birth, right? Press the B button, smack the baby, and then, you know.
So Roger, this has been requested I don't know how many times when I'm on the show. So since I have you here, I'd like you to follow through on this favor.
Okay.
In the voice of Ezio, would you mind saying Adam Sessler is such a beautiful man?
I can do better than this. Christina, forgive me. Christina, Adam Sessler. Christina, Adam Sessler. He's a very sexy man.
Hi.
Right? Very good. Grazie.
I can now say it's all downhill from here.
Exactly.
Guys, I want to open it up to a couple of questions. We have some other stuff coming, so we're not going to have as much time as I think we would all like to have in asking them. Obviously, we have the creative director of the game, with Alex right here. So, two eager folks, want to try to take a stab?
Hi. I was wondering if you could provide some hints or maybe some tiny spoilers regarding a Morse code achievement at the end of Brotherhood, perhaps? Thank you.
Oh, so you want a little bit more details about the end of Brotherhood and how it leads into Revelations? Has anybody here not played Brotherhood? Because I wouldn't want to spoil it for you. All right, well, for that guy, I can't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But how much time has passed between Brotherhood and, I mean, was there even an Ottoman Empire at the end of Brotherhood, as there is just, it's a nascent one at the beginning of Revelations?
Yeah, exactly. So everything like Revelations pretty much starts right off where Brotherhood finished. In terms of, for Desmond, you know, if you remember Brotherhood, Desmond falls into a coma at the end. He's plugged back into the Animus to sort of keep him from turning into a turnip, you know. So he's plugged into the Animus. Typically, the Animus requires somebody to be conscious and able to interface with the program. Since he's not, he falls right through the white room and falls into what we call the black room, which is, you can think of it as like DOS. It's much more powerful, but it's not really made to interface with the human. So there...
Milk it. Let it later.
I don't know if enough of you are old enough to appreciate that.
So So essentially, the only physical object that you have there is a sort of a program that was used to test weather patterns and physics and stuff like that. So you need to, it's a really different game how you navigate towards, through the different memories of the character. So that's something that I can basically say. It's going to be a different experience. It's going to be an experience based on a very strong narrative. The game isn't called Revelations for nothing. We do reveal a lot of stuff in this game. I think you fans are going to appreciate that.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, I have a, is it closer? Closer? Okay, I have a tech question. Basically, I want to know if they're going to be doing the same Ubisoft DRM with the whole you have to be online the whole entire time in order to play it, or if it's still going to just be you have to be online to just install it.
Well, and also, to be fair, is this something that you actually can control yourself there, Alex? You're the creative director, not the...
Make the game, that's all. But I can't answer that, but...
Okay. All right, well, thank you anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say you guys make like an incredible game. Like any game that has the end boss with a fist fight with the Pope wins in my book. So kudos to that.
Best boss fight ever.
Yeah. I just have a story leading up to a question. It'll be very short. I was actually traveling in the UK last year, and I ended up going to Venice because I was playing Assassin's Creed 2 at the time. And so when I was in Venice, I actually had the Venice map out, and I mapped out where all the glyph locations were, and I went and looked for all of them, and I took a picture of every single glyph location except for the Thieves Guild, because that doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. That we know of, exactly. But it was absolutely beautiful to be there, and anybody that wants to go there needs to go there.
We need to make an augmented reality game where you can actually see the glyphs. That'd be cool.
No, it's true. It's absolutely beautiful. Do you send your development team to any of these places so that they get inspiration when they're working on the environments and everything?
Always.
Like, you always do?
Always.
Okay.
As much for Florence and Venice, Rome. We actually went twice to Istanbul, present-day Constantinople. So it's the only way. Like you can use references from pictures, but the only way to really get the essence exactly, you have to be there.
Like I've seen pictures of Venice, but when I was there, you cannot describe it. It's just being in an entire another world. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. I think she's your biggest fan.
Actually, thank you.
Hi, Alex. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for making this game. It is one of my favorite games in recent memory that uses history, so I just absolutely love it, and thank you. But I do have kind of a nerdy question.
You're among friends. It's cool, man.
Well, they revealed in Assassin's Creed 2 that the whole reason we were able to see their memories is because they haven't had children yet. Once they have children, the memory kind of stops. In Assassin's Creed 2, Subject 16 is rambling, but he mentions that he's experiencing past lives and experiencing their deaths. Can you explain that?
I can explain that, yes. Subject 16 is a very, very delicate question because, in fact, 16 is actually dead. What you see in the game is a simulation, right? It's his essence that's being sort of found a way to sort of like hold on in the Animus. So he actually has access to other people that use the Animus. So he's sort of a third-person spectator. So he doesn't really obey that rule because he's dead. It's a program. He is like you can see everything in the Animus. So that's how that works.
Yeah, he mentions dying in Gettysburg. He mentions drowning.
Yep.
Yeah.
He gets around.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to point out that it was Assassin's Creed 2, I believe, that made me realize that you could have some of the scariest puzzles ever. And it's really quite effective. All right, next question.
Yes, at Comic-Con, it was stated that Altair and Ezio are not directly related. Care to elaborate on that? Because I know it's caused a lot of chaos on the internet as regards to that, because we've always assumed from before AC2 came out that Ezio was the direct descendant of Altair.
No, he's not. That's right. For instance, Ezio is related to your father. Altair is related to your mother. Something like that.
So you're saying that, like, for example, that Altair is descended from Desmond's ancestor on his mother's side, and Ezio is descended on his father's side, something like that.
I'm not specifically saying like from mother or father, but it can down the line at one point it branches off. Like one is from one side of the family, the other is maybe Ezio is related to Desmond's grandfather, and maybe Altair is to his grandfather from the mother's side, something like that. But like you can't have split, like a genealogy and still have something that works with the.
Or adoption.
Right.
Well, there could be some illicit nookie that was happening as well.
But that makes genetic memories not work. Also, I have a yes or no question. As Altair, will we be able to use the crossbow?
The crossbow. You'll have to play the game.
God damn it. Okay, thank you. Keep doing a good job.
All right, you probably are going to be our last question.
All right. So, as creative director of an assassin game, does your work on this project spawn from the childhood dream of making the assassin game?
Well, I mean, when I was a child, there was no assassin game, but it does spawn from the childhood desire to make games. Like, in this industry, we really have an industry where the people that work in it, like, live and breathe games. Like, people do this because they love it. It's really hard. We really work our asses off for you guys, like, to make the best possible games. And to do that, you really need to be passionate about that. So it has been my childhood dream to work on games.
So early on, was there like a specific like dream or envision you had of making something like this, where you're stealthy, you're the epitome of badassery?
Yes, I mean, like, I think the first time I actually wanted to make games was playing Gauntlet 1, in the arcade.
Yeah.
Because
you're like, going, this has got to be easier.
Yeah, I can do better. But you can actually play with 3 different people, and you're like, okay, I can be the thief, and like that was the first time that you could really play sort of a co-op game, So yeah, it all spawns from the fact that like let's do something better with this, a game where you can actually choose your approach. And something that we're really doing with Revelations is really reinforcing the fact that we're giving you a strong narrative in an open world game. The open world game in itself is a toy. But what we're doing on Revelations is paying specific attention to actually connecting all of those different systems together so that the core experience is stronger. And we're giving you more tools to actually muck around with the systems to sort of bend the game to your liking. If you want to play more stealth, it's the assassin where you can play the stealthiest or the most aggressive, because we're just giving you more tools to play the way you want to play.
Thank you.
But I think to your point, what I love about the game is it's my opportunity, like I wanted to be as a kid, to walk around with other people and going, I am so much cooler than you are, and you don't know it.
Exactly.
You know what? We do have time for one more question, so go ahead.
You're probably going to say I don't know, but do you guys have any plans for a collector's edition with like a cool statue or anything like Assassin's Creed 2 in one had?
I know that we do have excuse me? I heard I know that there is I don't think we call it the special edition, but there is sort of a GameStop edition that has more stuff in it. It contains a lot of stuff like we have Embers, which is sort of a short movie, a 21-minute short movie on assassins. So we have stuff like that. Actual special edition with a figurine, I don't know, maybe. Right now, I'm not aware.
Okay, thanks.
All right, actually, let's have one more over there.
So I was personally really happy when I found out that this one was going to feature Altair as well as Ezio, but I still get the impression that it's Ezio's story. I'm curious, and you might not be able to answer me, but do you guys have plans on making Altair the under the main spotlight again?
I can tell you this. Any franchise that features like a rich background story and a lot of historical elements and a lot of characters risks, crumbling under the weight of its own mythology. So we need to close some doors. Okay. Revelations is all about like giving you fans what you've been wanting. Like, the cliffhangers are really cool and they've been leading up to this, right? So we will deliver this, but to do that, we need to close doors. So this is Ezio's sort of like final adventure. It's also
sorry. Couldn't resist.
And it's also Altair's final adventure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry. You know what? Let's actually try one more.
Let's go. One more.
All right. So I was wondering. how historically accurate are the what do you call it? The cities in the Assassin's Creed series?
I can actually give you an answer. Like Venice was actually used by a school in Italy for one of their history courses, our Venice. So they are very accurate. We work from old plans. Afterwards, we take some artistic liberty, but they are fundamentally very similar. I mean, nobody knows exactly what Venice looked like at that date, but I think we got pretty damn close. Same thing for Constantinople. Like we do visit the city for the feeling, but we do study old maps. We look at old carvings, stuff like that, and we pride ourselves in making very rich and historically accurate locations and characters.
And also, these were huge economic centers during their time that there wasn't a good reason for them to be altered because they were functioning and too much change would actually, kind of undermine them.
Exactly.
Testament to that, I actually I went to Italy for the first time in December of last year and was that ignorant American who was going around with a tour guide and saying stuff like, I've climbed that. I've climbed that. That was the foundation of my history, but it was so remarkably perfect. I mean, I remember saying, going like, everything's here in the game. That's amazing.
All right. Well, thank you all. So sorry we couldn't get to everybody else's questions, but it's for a good reason. We'll know in a second because we now need to dim the lights. It's so moody now.
Audience? What are you doing in an audience? Mom? She does that. She's an alcoholic.
What? Video!
Stargate, Ubisoft Sparkle.
Video.
Fading to the left hand of a sleepy man. How'd he fall asleep there? Help up the sleepy-headed man. That's what beds are for. Dragging across the stone floor. Front shot, then a shot from the ceiling. Thanks. Your carpet burned, slow fade. Cut to white on the boat. I'm looking ahead, holding on a rope. I am nauseous now, I'm alone, walking away, and I'm afraid of heights. Oh shoot, how'd I get up here? If I fall, then I would be dead. I made it down alright, I feel great.
With a shot that arrow's gonna pay into
break the arrow, hopes to take it off. God, then you see the ball guy join by some other guys run up in slow motion. Kick a guy in the head, stab his friend, spin around, roll off, punch your face. Start out in slow motion first, then use a speed hack, grab his sword, use it to deflect, stab him in the back, get down just in time and slap him in the face. Friendly fires are on, apparently. Why unsheath your blade, make them use their own. I'm out, let me get my whips in slow-mo. I am the first X-Man, that joke's ahead of our time, but you're still gonna die. Who the hell is that guy? The second X-Man. Don't watch him walk away, or you'll lose a hidden blade and get surrounded. Do white. Bald guy with a cape, Ezio plans his escape. Boss waits patiently, Ezio shakes free. All the royal guards beat themselves, me. Boss calls him off with his right hand. Slow dramatic zoom back, doesn't phase the hooded man. Cape black, bald guy sentence Ezio to die. And he sees Altair from the first game. I used to jump off those anyway. Under each of those there's a bed of hay. After you synchronize a leap of faith, not at the burning, people die everywhere. People die.
Oh, your mom.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Very well done, Toby.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you.
That gave me a tingle. I don't know if it's a good tingle.
I can't
or a
hear you
bad
over the
tingle.
audience.
Yeah. I don't know. I want more of that. Do you want more of that?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we can do the other Assassin's Creed.
Do you want to do Brotherhood? Let's do Brotherhood. Live performance of Brotherhood from Damascus.
I don't really know it, so sing along if you guys know the lyrics. Okay. May Tyler be back. Stargate Ubisoft Sparkle. Light Matrix picks a date then fade.
People say Rome wasn't built in a day.
Bloom transition.
The birds get the hell out of there because they know something's going down. Is he gonna die? No, it's a medium shot. Pan zoom in slow-mo means he's the target. Mysterious hooded man watches from a distance. Take a second to look awesome. Time to go walk in slow motion, so you still look awesome. God just saw you and he's gonna shoot you, but don't mind him, just keep looking awesome. That shadow will take care of his white.
God says stop, just kill him with your awesome. I got hit by now, so you're good. But the Red Sea overrated gods have been on my
Now act like you didn't do it.
They're not buying it. Target comes out of his shelter. He's distracted by a feather. He's like, shoot me. He likes feathers. He looks up when he remembers. Ooh, I love birds.
People die everywhere. People die. Target doesn't die. He's fine. Target takes off and to die.
To the wall, the rider falls down. To the rider falls down. Target's still fine.
Mountains and other gods that were hiding in the fields come out and then take their formation. Then Target pulls out his sword, then goes to smell his sword.
Not sure why.
Serious bullet and
Joined by hooded people. You're next. Running slow motion jump up.
subscribe. Subscribe.
Everybody to
Bless your faces. Bless your faces.
Okay, before we close down the panel, that was just so awesome. Another round.
It's Adam Sessler.
It was Toby.
It's Adam Sessler.
I would like to officially declare this the most modest panel ever. Before we close it down, I want to let you guys know about other Assassin's Creed things that are obviously happening on the show floor over at the Ubisoft booth. If you go there, you can see the new Assassin's Creed Revelations multiplayer. You can get your photo taken while performing the leap of faith at the Soar Like an Assassin photo booth. And I want one of those in my house. It's like, hey, kid, you want to soar like an assassin? If you pre-order the game only at PAX, and so until Sunday, you're going to get a free Altair avatar for Xbox Live or PlayStation Home. Now, if you haven't heard, there's also a contest going on right now. This is actually truly awesome. It's going to challenge you to film yourself retelling the entire story of Assassin's Creed in 60 seconds or less. Yeah. The winner gets a mega awesome Sony home theater system complete with speakers, TV, and a PS3. If you'd like to take the challenge, stop by the booth and request it. Gabe, who was up here playing the game so well, he will film your entry for you. All right? My advice when you do it, limit the wheezing. Like, and then he came out, and then he stabbed him a little bit, and then the Pope came, and I kicked him in the nuts. That's how I would do it. Anyway, let's have a huge round of applause for, obviously, our panelists today. Alex Amancio, Gabriel Graziani, Roger Craig Smith, and of course, Toby Turner as Tobuscus. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Guys, bravo.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.